All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. This video comes from Vice. It's a Vice debate, and it's titled Anti and Pro-Feminist Debate Abortion, Trans Rights, and Me Too. We are entering on the trans rights portion of this debate, and we're about to get into this, all right? Now, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe while we're watching. We got just pearly things in the house, and there might be a few other familiar faces that you guys might know in the crowd. So with all that being said, let's get into it.
Conversations.
I want to talk about transgender issues. Should trans women be included in feminist conversations? How about in women's spaces?
Yes, they're women. What's the question?
Pearl,
Trans women are women.
So I want to come at this from the position of an athlete.
Oh, Jesus.
So I play semi-pro basketball, semi-pro volleyball. So when it comes to like athletic spaces, I don't think that trans women should be allowed into athletic spaces because I don't think it's a fair. I think as female athletes, we work so incredibly hard for the little opportunity there is in women's sports.
Would this be a barrier for you?
There's no barrier. There's less opportunity in some industries.
That's what a barrier is.
There's less. It's not. No. It's based on the market. Okay.
Hold on, guys.
Okay, so again, we work very hard for the little opportunity there is in the space because we're not as entertaining as the men. Sorry, we're just not. And so it's like you're going to take the little.
I don't know who this girl is right here at the top right, but she's clearly a feminist. Notice how as soon as Pearly was starting to talk, she said, "Oh, Jesus." Lack of respect right there, you guys.
In some industries,
that's what a barrier is.
There's less. It's not. No. It's based on the market. Okay.
Hold on, guys.
Okay. So again, we work very hard for the little opportunity there is in the space because we're not as entertaining as the men. Sorry, we're just not. And so it's like you're going to take the little opportunity that we're given, and the problem is like we can't compete. We can't. Like, I'm 6 foot. If I go up against a 6 foot guy and I play basketball with him, he's going to body me.
And what happens if I go up against you?
Even if I have years more of training. And so it's like you're taking away the little opportunity that we're given and we all work so hard for. And you're just giving it back to biological guys. It's like this will be the end of women's sports.
Have you tried confidence?
Eli, hold on, Minnie.
Sorry,
Eli.
Confidence can't make me bench what a guy benches.
I don't
confidence can't make me 6'7".
So hostile. She's sharing her experience
can't make me 6'7".
No, she's sharing.
And I'd have to go.
No, she's not. She's a woman who's had an experience.
You hear that? She said she's sharing trans misogyny. I'll replay that just in case you guys didn't catch it. This one right here. This girl right here.
Can't make me 6'7".
No, she's sharing.
And I'd have to go.
No, she's not. She's a woman who's had an experience.
Hold on, one at a time.
You guys are so obsessed with your own experiences and your own existence.
You see, it's ridiculous that feminists claim to be for women and all about women and women's rights and women's this and women's that, but they're trying to allow and advocate for biological men to compete in sports with women. Like Pearl just said, women work very hard to get any shine in their sports in general because women's sports aren't lifted and aren't highlighted as much as men's sports. It's just a fact. It's a fact because men are more entertaining. We were born and bred to do physical things, physical labor, physical sports. That's what men do. We've been doing it for so long. We dominate it. So women are struggling to even entertain fans, keep fans, hold attention. And now you want to bring biological men into the sport to just outshine all the women. Look what happened with Leah Thomas. And there's other examples. You got biological men fighting women in MMA. That's ridiculous. Any real man would stand up and against that and say, no, I don't want a dude punching on a woman. You know what I mean? Like, this is something we should all be unified on. The feminists should agree that men shouldn't be in sports punching women and beating women in sports. But this just goes to show you guys, these feminist ladies, these feminists are not for you. These feminists are not, they're not loving people. They're not really for you. If you're a girl and you play a sport, they don't care what you think. And this girl right here, this lady right here, doesn't even have legs. So what does she know about sports? Maybe at one point she did play a sport, but not to the level that Pearl is talking about. Pearl was I think D1 or D2 college basketball athlete, and I think she played volleyball as well.
And yet when a woman is sitting here telling you, I feel as though this is unfair and this is compromising and this situation is not helping women, you guys are like, meh, meh, meh. But when you're like, I'm a black person that did this, 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 and this, then it's valid and fair and viable.
Eli, I want to give you the chance to respond.
So this is basically a joke of a talking point. Everyone has biological advantages in sports. How tall are you?
5'11" and a half. I'm tall.
I'm 5'8". I am a trans woman. You would crush me. You would absolutely crush
bone
me.
density, wrist strength, muscle density. You can't switch those.
Yeah, exactly. You would crush me.
But also, Eli, you would never play at the level that Pearl plays because you would never get there.
So let me give you a few more examples here, too. So Michael Phelps produced more lactic acid in his body, which caused him to swim better than any of his competitors. This was widely celebrated. And nobody contested it. Now, this is a performance-enhancing hormone. So we all have different bodies. And now I'm not saying that trans women who aren't on hormones should participate, but there are, every major medical and every major sports organization agrees that trans women who have been on hormones for between 1 and 3 years, depending on the organization, have the same competitive abilities.
The study that you're referencing had like 7 people participated.
This is misinformation, by the way. I'm referencing several different studies. I'm a trans woman and a researcher.
It's getting personal. I don't want it to be personal.
A lot of us live in this space where we're told that our opinions don't count because they're not the right kind of opinions, and we're constantly shouted over and talked over, regardless of what we look like, because there's one group in society that basically takes precedence, and it's frustrating. So yeah, of course, it's frustrating.
You hear the evil cackle she just did?
Regardless of what we look like, because there's one group in society that basically takes precedence, and it's frustrating. So yeah, of course, it's frustrating because when we try to talk about it, we get shouted down, we get told to be quiet, we get spoken down too as well. So there's hostility there for plenty of women.
Let's try to make this an opportunity to speak.
You're literally a white woman from Australia. You live in a bubble, and you're pissed that voices that have been silenced forever finally can be heard.
That's why they have the voice, because they speak up.
Jordan, I wanted to hear from you.
So I am not a professional athlete. The closest thing I have ever done to anything athletic was I used to do competitive show choir when I was younger. And I don't feel really qualified to make carte blanche statements about whether or not trans women should compete in every kind of sport. And I understand that that is that's a hard pill to swallow. And for me, my first inclination is to approach everything through a lens of inclusivity. But at the same time, I also can't speak accurately to every kind of sport and the different things that go into it. So I really think in these instances, the decisions are best left up to the professional governing bodies that dictate these particular sports.
I just feel like in places, as an ally, in places where there's no understanding, we can just respect and not really, like, our opinions don't fucking matter.
Eli, I saw you nodding your head over there.
Several times. This is more than about sports. This is about free and equal participation for transgender people in social life. And the right sees this as a socially acceptable way to begin to remove trans people from different engagements in our society. So it does just start with sports or bathrooms or locker rooms, something that they find is more acceptable. And then at this point, they started to move into education, getting trans teachers fired, banning trans books. This is a route that is very effective because it's seen as more acceptable. But it's also overlooking a lot of major details. Like, do y'all know how many?
Notice how many words that the feminists and these people have to say to get their point across. Like, I'm trying to follow along and I can't even, I'm at this point, I'm done with this video. Just the lack of respect that they have for other women's opinions shows you that their whole ideology of feminism is BS. They're only unified in feminism if they agree on the same talking points. Like we've seen this one, and this one. All three get along on the pro-feminist side. But watch if there ever happen to be a disagreement between them and her because they're white and she's not. No, they will start biting each other's faces off. So these people aren't even really unified in anything. It's all BS. And I think I'm gonna leave the video here, you guys. Now let me know what you thought about this down in the comments below. I think Pearly, you know, despite all the heckling that she had to deal with, held her own pretty good. But let me know what you thought about this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe when you're at the door. Till next time, you guys, I'm out. Peace.